Ding!
Greetings, fools! Recently, I procured Dr. Doom from the Marvel Legends Fantastic Four wave, as well as She-Hulk. I shared my thoughts on She-Hulk, but never got around to looking at Dr. Doom. Now that something called Hasbro Pulse has announced a vintage-style Dr. Doom, I figured it was time to decide which Dr. Doom figure looked worse. And what better place to do that than right here on the EVIL Skeletoys! Dr. Doom came in the standard-looking Marvel Legends packaging, some accessories including an alternate head, one that I believed already gave us a retro look, a Build-A-Figure, or BAF to you nerds, piece to build a Super Skrull, the Good Doctor's picture on the side, a Fantastic Four logo, little write-up on the back, some pictures of his mortal enemies that one can also purchase at the market, and all kinds of warnings about how not to choke on this. I propose not putting it in your mouth to begin with, but I digress. Now this vintage-style Dr. Doom that looks to be scheduled for a November release, just in time for Life Day, takes us back to the 90s. Wait, when did the 90s become vintage? What about the 1600s, Hasbro? Is that not vintage enough for you? Anyway, 90s style package, reminiscent of the Marvel Action Hour. Looks like it comes with a slip cover. I don't care about that. I do take some delight in the 90s card back, although I prefer the 80s. As Flint Dilly always says, we want the 80s back!
And I don't know anybody who actually lived during the 80s. We want the 80s back.
And I got to be honest with you. I mean, the 80s is arguably the last great decade, and so I don't mind revisiting it.
In fact, just the other night, I viewed 1981's Spider-Man, Dr. Doom, Master of the World, and I said to myself, my evil action figure armies need a Doom of this style to join them. The next morning, Hasbro revealed they are making this. I brought this figure into existence by sheer act of will, and while he is not an exact match to his animated counterpart, I will accept it. For now, at least until I get some purple robots complete with spiderweb marionette strings. What do you mean those robots are pink? I am a fan of the lighter green robe here, as well as what appears to be a cloth piece around his neck. This Doom seems to pull inspiration from a number of Doom's costumes throughout the years, except for 2099. Does that count as 90s vintage? But if one of you nerds viewing my program knows where this specific costume appeared, please advise me with some remarks below in this very video. In any case, I opened the current Doom and proceeded to try and pose him as the vintage-style figure is posed in those Hasbro Marvel Legends photos released on the social medias. While I believe the new vintage figure... New vintage? What? Is a straight-up repaint, I could not get the legs to twist as far as I desired. I wonder if they have changed some of the armor under Doom's skirt for more articulation. Or perhaps my Doom legs are just stiff. Or some other far worse third thing. Perhaps the photos have been doctored. Get it? Doctored? Dr. Doom? Bah! My talents are being wasted here. I also believed that Doom's hood had been remolded, but if I took a minute to squish mine here, it looked very similar to the one pictured. So maybe someone sat on his hat before he put it on. Probably that boob Reed Richards, or even worse, He-Man. The upcoming Doom also has rocket boosters under his cape, with blast effects. I decided to take a peek under my Doom's clothing and discovered he also has a very impressive booster. What? Why is everyone snickering? Doom also apparently liked to read in the 90s, as he comes with not one, but 2 books. He also has alternate hands. I can't be certain, but it looks as if one of the hands may be changed from the previous release to better hold a book. He's got some green wispy magic things going on there too, and he also comes with the ultimate nullifier. This is way better than those retro Spider-Man Marvel Legends that made no effort to hide the fact that there is no path piece. But at least it means I don't have to purchase that loser Daredevil. Why don't you get a better costume, dolt? Check out Hawkeye. Purple! Purple, now that's classy! Now watch Doom spin into his next master plan. Well, if Doom's plan works as well as my spin-off here, I won't have to worry much about competition for world domination. If you would like to listen to more of my evil rants about nerd doll collections, then click on some of the other videos. Maybe not that one where that goofy dog was hosting for me, though. I can't stand that guy. But also, click on one of the voice actor Alan Oppenheimer videos. There's something familiar about that guy.
Gosh, am I still supposed to be hosting this show? Gosh, I was wondering the same thing. Me too. Me for.